Hey! Hey there! Today I'm going to show you my Malevolent build for everyone. Malevolent has been on a roll right now. That's because this weapon is being used a lot on Void Erosion 30 by Serena, Clay, and even Bunnies. And a lot of people are arguing which is better for Void Erosion, especially for Serena, the Albion Cavalry Gun or this weapon. Let me first tell you guys that if you've tried using the Albion Cavalry Gun on Void Erosion, you will always often encounter a scenario where one mob spawns outside the cluster of spawns. This monster isn't going to be killed because most of the time, this mob is out of range from Serena's fourth ability and Albion Cavalry Gun Splinters. Malevolent can reach those enemies and is a lot more consistent. Consistent on breaking shields, consistent on clearing rooms with just a few shots, and sometimes this happens. The cogs travel to the next cluster of spawns. And the best part is, you don't even have to fly or hit weak points when using this weapon as Serena. I was actually the first one who made a video about this weapon on Void Erosion, and a lot of people were asking, why am I not using weak point modules? More on that later. Void Erosion 30 has a lot of randomness, and every speedrun video you see only shows you the little percentage of runs where the mob spawn are not too harsh. And this is true because I've experienced this myself. Albion Cavalry Gun is great because its single target DPS is amazing. If you've watched my video about that weapon, I managed to make it as a bossing weapon for Void Erosion 30, where we are able to deal with the boss in both phases with just one magazine as fast as if you were using the last dagger. The gun itself is amazing and I use it for the boss. The DPS of Malevolent doesn't come from its bullet shot only, but from the cogs it produces per shot. The cogs does not inherit weak point and crit damage but has its own crit calculation. A lot of people told me that multi-hit is better. It is not. Weak point is a lot better and you can see it in this calculation. The cogs actually damages the main enemy once. That is considered as the first bounce. So technically speaking, we add 168% damage inheriting attack, attribute, and crit. Assuming we are able to hit weak points and using the inversion buff, 7 cogs will be produced that bounces 5 times. This has the potential to bounce to the main target 3 times, including the initial first bounce. 4th and 5th bounce to the main target is impossible because it alternates. This means if you have 2 enemies or 2 Void Erosion elites, the main target is going to receive 504% damage from the cogs on top of the main damage, while also dealing 336% cog damage to the secondary enemy. What's great is that this triggers Serena's 4th ability. So if the enemy is within the range of her 4th ability explosions, the nearby enemies are going to receive the amplified damage from the main bullet and the bounces, essentially dealing 100% amplified damage from Serena's 4th ability. Without accounting for Serena's 4th ability, the damage of the cogs is going to disperse the more enemies you're facing against. That's because the bounces will also disperse. By using the binomial distribution formula, the likeliness of the cogs bouncing to the main target at the maximum of 3 times if you have 5 enemies present is only 5.12%. This only lowers the more enemies present, and scenarios like this is only going to happen on 400% infiltrations, Sigma sector, and other high-density contents. Unless of course if you're Serena that can just deal AoE damage from her 4th ability per bounce. This is why Malevolent works so well on Void Erosion no matter the Descendant you're using. That's because you get 1 to 5 elites that has relatively higher HP than trash mobs. The cogs bounces between them. Weak point is the best build for this weapon because this weapon already has a high base weak point. The problem is, hitting weak point is extremely difficult when using this weapon because of the fire rate. Weak point hits are not also needed outside Void Erosion because you are dealing with trash mobs. And this weapon has a weak performance against single targets unless you went with weak point build. That is why I use the Albion Cavalry Gun or the Last Dagger or even Ancient Knight when dealing with the Void Erosion 30 boss. Going full weak point is only for those players who have the aim of a god. So multi-hit build is an option for people who hates weak points. You can even increase the cogs damage by going Chill Circulation and Snowflake Conductor. That's it for this one guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Face the flames! My shield! Oh no! My shield falters! I need to reload. Loading. My shield has been damaged. My shield! I let my guard down. My shield faltered. My shield! My shield has been damaged. My shield falters. Reload. We can do it.